Hello again, welcome back to another show. Today I'm going to talk about Fukasaku's new battles without honour and humanity. You know, the complete trilogy from Arrow, where you get the films and the booklets. Ooh. Right, the box set's nice, very nice cover. I'm pretty sure it's sold out by now. I got it instantly when it came out. Nice booklet. You get nice little essays in it. The films themselves are terrific fun films. They're not Fukasaku's best films. I'm trying to make sure I get the pronunciation right, even though I'm probably messing it up. They're not his best films, but they're very enjoyable. I'm going to talk about some of his other films from this era next time as well. Next week I'm going to do some more. And some of those include some of my favourites beyond the Battles of Honour and Humanity films, which are really wonderful. These are kind of lesser films in this series. I don't think they're on par with the original series. You know, it's just, that's the way it is. But they're still really enjoyable compared to a lot of directors. A lot of directors would be really happy with these three films in their collection of, in their CV. They'd be really happy to have these. Okay, I'm going to start with New Battles Without Honour and Humanity. This is a simple story. A guy goes to prison and then he comes back out years later, back to his clan, back to the family. He finds that they've gone up in the world and they've become much more successful. So while he's in parole, he has to stay at a distance from everybody because he's in parole. So he has to stay in this other location. He gets some money, he's got some followers who come and help him. But he has to sort of stay out of all the business just now because he's not really... He's been watched by the government, so he has to keep his distance. But while that's happening, because he's still a major player in the Yakuza clan, two different factions of the clan are now coming to talk to him. You've got the boss who's trying to keep hold of his power, and you've got the guy who's been running a lot of it, who's trying to expand the business and try and make it new and better and just function better, really. And he wants the he says the boss is corrupt, the boss is behaving horribly, that they have to get rid of him because he is a danger to the future success of the business, and he's taking everything to himself, and he has to go. So the lead character, played by Bungo Sitoawa, yeah, destroying his name there, sorry, who's the lead in all three films, so just to say that right now, so I don't have to butcher his name anymore. He has to try and work at his move, because if he backs the wrong person, he's going to die too. So he can't back either of them publicly. He has to talk both of them, because both of them, if either of them feel that he's not backing them, they will feel like they have to kill him when they take out the other person. So he has to try and work a way around not destroying the wrong person, not getting blamed for anything, and also watch them fight each other and actually take each other out, and you know, so it's a bit of a mess. The good thing about this film is it's more of a waiting game film than a film with lots and lots of violence. There's violence at the beginning which is very awkward and rough. Then as the film goes on, there is spots of violence, but it really is about this power play, this subtle power play, where he knows the guy who's trying to come up as the future, but this guy's also got his problems. And he knows the boss is, everything I've said about the boss is true. Like, he is greedy, he does lie, he is manipulating people to get his own way. And the lead character has to find his way around this, and it's watching him work his way around the situation, trying to deal with it, and it's a very complicated situation. He's not perfect either, he's got his own problems, and he knows any wrong move will lead to his own death. So it builds and builds and builds, and everyone's trying to push him and push him, It's really enjoyable because you're waiting for the explosion eventually is going to happen. Someone's going to die eventually, but you're waiting to see who it is and how it's going to all shake out. And it goes in a different direction from what I expected, and it shows you how clever this lead character is. But also what's really good is you instantly sympathise with this character because who's playing him, but as you go on you realise maybe he's not as nice. He's a Yakuza, so he's not nice, but maybe he's even worse than we think he is. You know, I mean, compared to the other two Yakuza he's dealing with, he seems kind of decent in comparison because he is kind of reserved. But as the more it goes on, you realise now he's a power player as well. He's just biding his time. So it changes your attitude to the character as you're watching it, and it has to complicate it in intriguing ways. So I really enjoyed this one. This is, in some ways, this is my favourite of the three. I mean, it's not thought of as one of the best of the three, but I really liked it. I mean, I think they thought this one was a kind of a miss, but I didn't feel that way when I saw it. I really enjoyed it. So it's Buntu Sakuraira. I'm just saying that out to get it right at least once. Right now is a boss's head, which I think is viewed as the strongest of the three films. Really, that's from what I've seen. That's viewed as the strongest. This one is where Buntu is like a wandering assassin who helps one gang in a fight early on, an assassination against the rivals. They take out the rival boss. He gets put in jail, but because he took the blame for what the boss's son did, he thinks when he gets out he'll be in a good position to get in with the family because he knows, everyone knows that he earned it. He stayed quiet and didn't implicate the son's boss, and when the son's boss failed at the task at hand, he took the fall. So he's back out and he's not getting the respect he deserves. He's really not getting no one really wants to pay him off what he's owed. And it turns out the boss's son is actually a drug addict. He was always there before, but now everyone knows about it, and he's been kind of abandoned. Oh, it's his son-in-law. I mean, it's the boss's daughter married this guy, and so he's not going to get his money he deserved for sitting in jail for all those years. He's not going to get the connections he was hoping for, so he has to get brutal and actually kidnaps the boss at some point and makes it, I'm getting my money, aren't I? Which is a wonderful sequence, it's just so brutal. But this actually endears him to the boss because the boss has got a bunch of people who's around him who he does not trust, and he knows he's going to be retired soon. Like, no, everyone thinks he's in the last legs. Something's going to go wrong. So he brings this guy in who everyone says he's a wanderer. You can't really trust him. He's a wanderer. It's like he's not one of us. But the boss keeps on giving him, jobs and respect and bringing him up in the world and just infuriating the people. And then when the boss finally retires, he names someone else, not the person who they thought was going to be the boss, as the boss. So the guy who thought he should be the boss starts to bully the situation, and our Bunto decides he's not going to take it because he knows if this happens, he's done for. So of course there's a war between the gang, the established gang, and Bunto and his people who are going to take out all these people try to take over the gang, which leads to the big finale as a really great car chase. Now this is seen as the best one, I think, and I like the other two better, really. Mainly because I think after the first half's terrific, and then I think it becomes this chase movie, and I don't think the chase movie is interesting in anything else. There's a big car chase I don't think fits in with the aesthetic of the rest of the films, and it feels from a different era, as I don't really like that. But I like the idea is this guy's going to push through and kill everybody to make sure he doesn't get killed, and just the brutality of it and how he just destroys the inside of this crime family because they're trying to be sneaky and he's pretty brutal in his own way. So it's a really good film though. It's a really made by a really good director. it just kind of falls away in the second half. But there's some great scenes, like when the moment where the boss is retired and they decide to take him out anyway is really stunning. And the whole movie is just wonderful. Just the last third kind of gets a bit too big for its boots. Finally, we have the last days of the boss, which is another one which I really like. Because I think in this trilogy, Bunto is actually playing characters who are kind of nasty, which I quite like. It takes away from, in the original series, he was the one lone person with some dignity within the Yakuza. It wasn't truly dignified. He had his flaws, but at least he had some moments of humanity compared to the rest of them, you know. In these ones, he's much more brutal. In Last Days of the Boss, he seems to be like his character from the original series a bit more, but he plays as a lowly guy who's working a normal job, but he's part of the crime family. And all these crime families are starting to join together and they've got a collaboration, but they're fighting against this other family who's a bit more wayward and try to settle a grudge. So to settle the grudge, they end up killing the boss of the Bunto character, who does not take it well. When they try and make peace with these people who killed his boss and try and kind of say, look, what happened was a mistake, it was horrible, we have to move on. Bunto is not going to take this. He will destroy everybody. And he seems to be, he didn't really want to be the boss, and he seems to like the violence a bit too much. And he's got this weird incestuous relationship with his sister, who both are, who played the lead actress from the Gangster Outlaw #1 VIP, and he's and she's really good in this as well, playing his sister, and it's very dark and twisted. And it's also, the thing is, he is brutal. He will destroy everybody just to get revenge, and he will kill everybody, and he is unrelenting. And it's a really good look at how gangsters can, you know, there's a logic to what they're doing, but if a grudge hits and they want to get revenge for this grudge, nothing's going to stop them. They will take you down. And it's just great. It's just a wonderful, weird film. I really enjoyed it. I kind of know it's not the best of the series, but it's probably it and the first one are my two of my favourites, because it's a really good and a really dark and twisted, and the lead character is placed in a narrative in a really intriguing way, which is not quite what you expect. They turn out not to be quite the person you thought they were. They're not as nice as you originally thought they were. Not nice, but the lack of decency you gave to them as a lead character. Well, in the second one, you kind of knew that the Bunto character was a bit tough to start with, so you never had that expectation. But these other two, you did a bit more, and they really play on that and really twist it. I just think the setups to the drama and the 1 and 3 were better. They were just more interesting. The second one was really well done, but I didn't find narratively it was quite as interesting as the other two. The other two were more wayward and a bit weirder, and probably not critically as acclaimed as some of the other ones, but I think they were just more interesting, more eccentric and weird, and they're more up my street. So yeah, this box set is not as good as the first Battles for Honour and Humanity. It's not as good as some of the films I'm going to cover next week from the same director, which are wonderful, but they are very good. They're kind of the B level of a really good director, you know. And a B level of really good director is always really good to watch, you know, because there's always going to be some really great stuff in there. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back soon with another one, so I'll see you later.